And welcome back to our YouTube channel, Cooking with Love, Dishing with the Davises. How you doing out there? I am, of course, Augustus, and today we are making an all-American classic. I am talking about none other than homemade chocolate chip cookies, which you can absolutely never go wrong with. So go ahead and grab your sweet tooth, because this is about to be a slam dunk right into a glass of milk. Let's get started. All right, we're gonna start off with our dry ingredients. So, first of all, we are going to measure out 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. Then we are going to do a half teaspoon of baking powder. There's the half teaspoon of baking powder. And we are also going to do a half a teaspoon of baking soda. All right, there's that. And then finally, we're gonna do a half a teaspoon of salt. And now that we've got those in, we're just gonna take a whisk and just do a quick whisk of the dry ingredients and mix them up really well. All right, we're gonna set those off to the side. And now we're gonna mix up our wet ingredients. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and mix up our wet ingredients. In a large mixing bowl, I already have, can't really see it, there we go, 2 large eggs cracked in the bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and give them a light beating. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add 1 cup of softened butter. There we go. Next, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of raw sugar. There's 1. And not super concerned about super precision on this. So I'm gonna just estimate roughly about a half cup from the 1 cup measuring cup. If you want to, you can use a half cup measurement, but just doing a rough estimate here for that. So there's the 1.5 cups of the raw sugar. Next, we're gonna do 1.5 cups of packed brown sugar. And all the packed brown sugar is going to be is just taking and putting it into the measuring cup as such. And I'm just gonna take my spoon and I'm just gonna pack it down into the measuring cup. Get just a little bit more here. Love brown sugar. Looks like wet sand, but it definitely doesn't taste like it. So, all right. Okay. Just a little bit more. There we go. There's 1. And like I said, I'm not extraordinarily picky in this case about making sure that I'm super precise with this measurement. So I'm just using the 1 cup measuring cup just to estimate roughly what half cup would be. So, all right, and that looks like about a half cup right there. So here's the half cup. All right. Now that I've got the eggs, butter, and both types of sugar in here, I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up before we add a few more ingredients to this. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract. And I've already shaken it up. It's a good idea if you've got vanilla extract to go ahead and give it a good shake up before you put it into any recipe. So I've already got it shaken up. I'm gonna put it into my mix here. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and do 1 teaspoon of pure almond extract. And I've just got my half teaspoon portion right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 of those. Didn't feel like grabbing the teaspoon. So, all right, there's my 1 teaspoon of almond extract. And then lastly, I'm also gonna put a 1/4 teaspoon of salt into this mix as well. That's roughly about it right there. And we'll go ahead and mix this up. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add 4 tablespoons of olive oil. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna give us some extra added moisture to our cookies. Gives it a nice touch. There's 1. Here's 2, here's 3, and there's 4 right there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mix that up. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna add to the wet ingredients is going to be the chocolate chips. And the reason I like to do that for a couple reasons. The main one being, and I've got these wonderful Nestlé Toll House. These are the allergen-free, organic, semi-sweet morsels. And I like the semi-sweet because the milk chocolate definitely is way too sweet. And the dark chocolate morsels are just way too bitter. So the semi-sweet is a perfect fit for these cookies. So I've got 2 bags of them right here. I'm gonna do 1.5 bags of these chocolate chips in the mix. Gotta get all of them. Sometimes you have some stragglers in there that don't wanna come out. But there's 1. And here's the second bag that I'm just gonna pour about half of it into. Let's see here. Yep, there's my half a bag right there. And then I'm just gonna take and I'm gonna mix the chips up into the, sorry, just had a random funny thought. I'm gonna mix the chips into the wet ingredients right here. And I like to do that because it allows the chocolate chips to take on the flavor of the wet ingredients, particularly the vanilla and the almond. It allows it for that to soak in, and allows the vanilla and the almond and everything else to soak in to the chocolate chips, and the chocolate chips vice versa. So it just gives all the flavors a really good chance to meld. That's why I like to mix those in with the wet ingredients. And when that's all mixed up right there, the wet ingredients, that right there is about what it's gonna look like right there. So we got our wet ingredients mixed up. Now we're gonna go ahead and take the dry ingredients that we mixed earlier and mix those into the wet ingredients. All right, as I stated previously, now it is time to mix the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. And that's a big thing for me, to make sure you put the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, never the other way around, because it may not mix right. So I'm gonna hand mix this. You're more than welcome to use an electric mixer if you would like. So I'm just gonna do a little bit at a time here. Probably end up getting about 2/3 of it. But I'm gonna mix this up really well. I'm really careful too, because I don't like a whole bunch of flour to just start, you know, just kicking up a bunch of flour and it gets super messy. So that's just me. And then every now and then, I like to just take, you know, a spoon, scrape off any of the not so mixed up flour here so that it can get mixed up. There we go. And make sure as you're mixing this, make sure you definitely scrape the bottom of the bowl, because flour will definitely get down into there. And then also take your mix and get it against the sides of the bowl to get that flour that sticks to the side of the bowl as well, because you want everything nice and really well mixed. All right, that looks really good for that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of it. I don't wanna add too much at once. That's why I try to do half. Usually it ends up being 2/3, but I'll just get this last, probably about third or so of the flour. And I like to tap the sides of the bowl and the bottom to make sure it all gets off of there really, really good. So. Cool. All right. And now to mix up the rest of it. Scrape off the sections that haven't been mixed here, and back to mixing. Okay. All right, so got the cookie dough nice and well mixed. And the whole idea of this, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but as you stir it, you know the cookie dough is good when it's just kind of pulling away from the sides of the bowl. Like this. I don't know if you can really see it, but that's what you want. You want your cookie dough to pull away from the sides of the bowl. That's when you know it's like really good. If it's still really sticky, then you need to add a little more flour. If it's too much where it's not sticking to the side of the bowl enough, I don't know, you might need to add some more butter or something like that, but better to err on the side of I haven't added enough flour versus adding too much flour. So this is good to go right here. So I am going to go ahead and pan this delicious cookie dough up. Okay, we're gonna pan these delicious cookies up right now. So I have actually I have two of them, but just in this shot, I have a 9 by 13 baking sheet that I have lined with parchment paper. And we are going to take our tablespoon, measuring spoon, and we're gonna do 2 rounded tablespoons per cookie. I'm gonna get it. About like that. And we are going to go ahead, and I like to go ahead and set my lines, that way I can space my cookies out like I need to. And I like to do four cookies long by 3 cookies wide, so it comes out to be 12 cookies per rectangular baking sheet. And this is what my pan looks like once I've panned everything up. Like I said, 4 long by 3 wide, 12 cookies per rectangular baking sheet. Now we're gonna pop these in the oven. The oven is already preheated to 375 degrees. We're gonna bake these for about 10 to 12 minutes or until they're roughly a light golden brown. And look at these wonderfully decadent little confections right here. I don't know if you can really see from here, but they've started to get a nice little golden brown. just a little bit. Now, my oven is a little bit tricky because it doesn't quite do like the golden brown on top. It's got some quirks. So I know for me, once the very top of it gets dry, where it gets just dry, then I know it's done. And these cookies are absolutely perfect, which means there's only one thing left to do. After they cool, then we will go ahead and try these and see how they taste. All right, these cookies have had a chance to cool. Let's go ahead and bite into one of these and see how it turned out. These cookies should be illegal. They're that good. Absolutely delicious. It's just a great flavor on them. You can taste the vanilla and the almond in them, especially like the way the vanilla, the almond extract, and the chocolate chips really melded in there. It's just, the way those flavors melded was absolutely fantastic. So another successful venture on Cooking with Love, Dishing with the Davises. Hope you enjoyed this recipe. I know there's many chocolate chip cookie recipes out there, but definitely would love it if you would try this one. And if and when you do, go ahead and leave us a comment and let us know how you like the recipe. And speaking of which, besides leaving a comment, we would definitely love and appreciate it if you would put a like on this video, subscribe to our channel, as stated earlier, leave a comment, and go ahead and ring that notification bell so that you can receive notifications of any future uploads that we do on our channel. So we greatly appreciate you coming along on this culinary adventure with us. We love you so much, and as always, from our home of lovin', straight to your oven, we wish you all the best. Bon appetit, and we love you all. Take care.